Hi again, I'm Wes, and this is the second tutorial video for TrialVault in which I'm going to explain how to configure your class list, which is a very important part of setting up your event. So if you created your event from a template, if nothing else, a JRTCA or Barn Hunt Association or AWTA template, then you have already pre-populated some classes. If you didn't, you can import classes from any of those templates as you need them, and they'll be added to the bottom of your class list. So you'll start out with just one day, and with a bunch of divisions and classes set up. You'll notice they're unnumbered, and you can click on them to expand more details. You can't edit anything on this particular screen. To do that, you'll want to click this Edit Class List button, and that will open the class list editor. Now, only one person is allowed to edit the class list at a time, and this log here just indicates who's editing it. If someone is active, it will show up here with a check mark, and if you were to open the class list while they're active, it would kick them out. So just make sure you know who's editing it when you want to go in and do that. So I'm going to open it now, and it opens what we call the TrialVault Lightning List Editor. And it's called the Lightning List because in version 2 TrialVault, the class list editor was very slow. And this one is like lightning compared to that. So that's where the name comes from. This was really designed to be kind of like a file browser on your computer, although it's a bit different. So you'll notice day 1 appears as a folder. And you might want to change the name of this. Maybe you just want to call it Saturday or Sunday, or Trial 1, or Bob's Basin Bash 1, or something like that. To do that, you'll notice we already have it selected by default, but you can select it by just clicking once, and you can go up and press this Edit button, or you can press the E key on your keyboard, which I personally like because it's fast, and it brings up this Edit section. And all divisions, all days, all things that contain classes in TrialVault are called sections, just to have the terminology consistent. And then we have dog classes and youth classes. So this is a section. There's a category we can assign it to, and you'll notice there's a bunch of categories in here. I do recommend you assign that, but not for the day, because it's really, the day doesn't have a category. So we'll leave that uncategorized, and we'll just call this, maybe we'll just call it Saturday. And usually you want the name to be kind of brief, because it does print out on invoices where you just have single lines, and it can, if it takes up a lot of room, it cuts off the descriptions on those invoices and things. So try to make it brief. You can make it a bit longer if you want. You can have a description. We don't really need it here. Sanctioning, this is sanctioned by the Jack Russell Terrier Club of America. If you want to allow sponsors to sponsor the entire day, you can do that here too. But you can control that with this switch. So you can save that, and that's updated. Now it's called Saturday. Now to actually open up the contents of this section of this day, we double click, and it pulls up all the divisions. Now when you copied this from a standard class list like the JRTCA class list, there's a bunch of options in that class list to split divisions out by height, by age, by the gender of the dogs, by dog and bitch. And those are just options. The JRTCA gives you options to do those or not. So there are divisions in here, and they're duplicated. You'll notice Go to Ground. If I open that up, there's a bunch of dog classes in here indicated by the dog icon, and it's not split out by height as in the other division. You'll notice they're all just combined together, but in here we have, if we go into the split by height division, you'll have several classes, the championship certificate classes, the veterans and the seniors, split out by height as the JRTCA standard indicates. So what you'll want to do is, depending on what your trial offers, is select one of these and delete the one that you're not using. So if we're going to split go to ground out by height, we're going to delete this other division, and it says hold on a minute here, we're deleting all of these classes, so we're going to make you enter your password just to make sure that's really what you want to do. This is especially dangerous if you already have entries in these classes, because it will clear them out, but we're just setting up the class list right now so we don't have to worry too much about that right now. So we'll go ahead and do that, and it gets deleted. And now we have this go to ground in here, but it still has a split by height in the name, and that's really not what we want. So I'll just press the E key to bring up the edit menu. And you'll notice here this is a division, and it is assigned to category, go to ground. It's important that you assign these because they are used in different places when you're configuring entry fees and some other places in the program. So make sure you always assign the sections, the divisions, the category, and also do that for classes as well. I'll get to that in a minute. And you can also control at the division level if you should allow people to sponsor this division or not. And we'll go ahead and save that. So now we just have go to ground. And you can do that for all the remaining divisions as well. There are a bunch of options in here. Now, probably at some point you'll want to add some non-sanctioned classes or some classes that are unique to your event. And to do that, what you can do if there's a division or there's a class that's similar, maybe you just, what's going to be easiest is to just copy that class. So I'll bring up, let's just go into a class here so you can see what all the settings are like. Here is a novice puppy class. So again, there's a category. You want to make sure you set that because that controls entry fees and other things we'll set up later. Number, you don't have to set that right away. We'll actually assign that here at the end. I'll show you how to do that. We can automatically number all the classes in the entire day rather than just doing it manually, which is very convenient. Name and description, this will show up if you, as I showed on the class list outside of this editor. If you click on the class, it expands and shows the description. We can also select a sanctioning organization, the score by, rank by. So score by is just, this configures what it's going to look like when we go to enter scores. And you can enter this later too, it's not critical right now. You can actually enter it while you're entering scores, but you can set time, position, points, and also rank by. This just determines the ribbons the terriers receive, the awards mainly. So champion or best or reserve best, high in class, or you can just say they only qualify, so dogs won't really be ranked, they'll just be pass fail. So you can do that. Score sheets for JRTCA and AWTA, you can assign those here. We have some loaded in, you shouldn't need to change those. And the filters, of course, you can set min age, min height, max height, and everything else related to the dogs. You can select the breeds. The certification or the certificates you need to that you're going to require the dog to have to enter this class, and the band certification or the certificates that you don't want the dog to have in order to enter this class. So that's a little it just takes a minute to get your head around. But so that's what the class looks like. You will notice this auto number option. If you were to type in a manual number, you'll probably want to turn that off so you don't overwrite the number when you number everything else. Some of these options are not used anymore. The make heats isn't used anymore. Championship final is important. If you select this, it won't let attendees enter their dogs in this class manually, or when they're entering for your event. and that's just so you can run a racing championship or something of that nature. And you can also select whether or not you can sponsor this class. So that's what that looks like. If you want to create your own class, I recommend you just copy an existing one. You can create one, a completely new class though. You'll just have to enter all the settings again. But you can go ahead and go through that yourself and do that. If you want to create a similar division, like maybe you offer a completely new division at your trial, I recommend that you do just copy an entire division. And I should explain how to copy things. To do that, to copy a class, go in here, and you can press the C key on your keyboard, or you can press this clone button, it's called. So I'll just press it, and it just adds a copy right below. It appends copy to the name, so you'll probably need to change the name and I'm just going to delete it for now because we don't need it. And the same thing for a division, just select the division and press the clone button, or just press the C key, and it makes a copy. So that's much faster than the old version 2 system, which is nice. So I'll go ahead and delete that, and it's going to say it's a dangerous operation, but we know about it. And it deletes it. Another thing you might want to do is move classes in and out of different sections and divisions. Like maybe you want to move it into a class into a different section, or into a different division, I should say. So maybe you want to move the pre-novice puppy or some other class that you made somewhere else. You can, I think the easiest way is just to use these indent and unindent, or move out and move in tools here. So you select the class and just press that, and it moves you back into the Saturday folder, and now this class also exists here. And what you can do is you can move it up and down in the list with these buttons. And if you wanted to move that into Super Earth, then you'll just indent this move in button, and it moves it into here, and then you can move the class around however you like. So I'm just going to move that back into go to ground for now. So that's how that works. I will mention there are youth classes too. So there is a youth division in here. And they only let youth enter these, not dogs. The options are a little bit different. Mainly the same up here, but the filters, mainly there's only one filter, is the age of the junior handler. You can add those with the new youth class button. So I think that covers most things in here. If you do find yourself in a situation where you need to move something, do a complicated move, there is this move to button, which will let you move a class somewhere of your choosing. If you select this class and say I want to move it into, I just want to move it down into Super Earth directly, if I go and click Super Earth in this main kind of file browser list over here, it will move it directly into Super Earth. So now Pre-Novice Puppy is there. So if you find yourself wanting to move something really far away, that tool might be a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and move that back into go to ground. And I think that covers everything you need to know in this class list editor here. Oh, I will mention one last thing. To number the classes automatically, to assign numbers, you can use this tool here. It's the Number Classes button, or you can press N on your keyboard. It will number all classes in this section you have selected, so in this case it's the entire day. You can set the start at, and a prefix, and a suffix. Some people might want to include, they might want to start this at 100 for the first day, and like a suffix of A, just to indicate this is Saturday class or something, but it's up to you. I'll just start it at 100, and it will number all the classes. if you go in here and expand it, you'll notice all the classes have numbers now too. I do recommend that you just start with a single day for your trial and then get it the way you want it, and then just clone or duplicate that day. Just copy the day to make another. So I'll go ahead and do this for Sunday and edit this. That way you know all the filters and everything are right for both days right away. So that summarizes how this class list editor works. When you're done, just press the Save and Close button, and you'll come back to this screen, and you'll notice we have numbers assigned to the classes, and everything's looking great. So that's it for this video. I'll have some follow-on videos that'll talk about the cross-entry rules and versatility awards and some of these other utilities here. So stay tuned. Thanks.